Convert more guests to leads at your next open house. This is a script that we use at all of our open houses that we've been practicing and working on that has been converting more and more open house guests to leads. And there's an overall principle before we get into what the actual script is that's really important to realize, whether you're talking about open houses, online leads, your sphere of influence, or whatever, is put yourself in the consumer's shoes first before you're trying to craft what your presentation is going to be. That is the biggest change we've made in our business that has helped all of our conversations lead to better outcomes more often. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Christian Stubbs. I'm a team leader here in Orange County, California, and my goal with this channel is to help agents like yourself grow their business to the next level. Whether it be open houses like this video, online lead generation, conversion, or anything, this is what we talk about on this channel. Okay, so let's dive in. Now this is a 9-point script, so we call it the 5 and 4, and I break it into 2 separate parts. And number 6 is absolutely my favorite. So let's dive in. For the first 5, let's start with that. So you're at an open house, and let me set the stage a little bit, is some of the basics that you should be doing. So you're greeting your guest to the open house before they're actually in the property. Way too often an agent gets lazy and will sit in the dining room or sit in the kitchen, and the guest is already halfway through the house before you even have an opportunity to introduce yourself. Putting yourself in the consumer's shoes, they are there to see the open house. They are not there to meet an agent. So your job is to make sure you're greeting them at the front door or even maybe a little bit before, depending on the house situation. So if you're greeting them, your first number 1 point of the script is to introduce and sign in. You're gonna set the expectation that you're gonna ask that person to sign in. Here's a pro tip, is I would get a whiteboard and put it before you would even meet the person, and you're gonna have 3 things on there. Super simple. Welcome to 123 Main Street, or whatever address you're hosting the open house. 2, sign in and you, so me, so it would be sign in and Christian will give you a digital brochure. That's number 2. Number 3, enjoy a snack while you're touring the house. Super easy, but you're also setting the expectation. So if they see that sign on the floor, they're gonna think to themselves, okay, they're gonna ask me to sign in, because likely this person's already been to open houses. Your introduction can depend on how you wanna do it, but asking leads to sign into your open house is absolutely crucial. I should say, asking guests to sign into your open house is crucial because you're gonna miss so many opportunities if you don't just ask. So when I'm introducing myself to somebody at an open house, I say, hey, thank you so much for coming to our open house. My name is Christian and your name is. Awesome. If you wouldn't mind registering, I'll get you a digital brochure. And then while they're registering, I'm gonna start my first couple of questions. Now, this is the 5 and 4, so that was number 1. So while they're signing in, whether you have an iPad or a sign-in sheet, or if you're just taking their information as they're coming in, that's number 1. Now we're gonna ask a series of questions that are super simple for them to answer, which is key, and they're open-ended. Now you can take this part here, if open houses isn't your huge pillar of business, you can take this principle right here and apply this to anything. So first and foremost, we're gonna ask easy questions for them to answer that can lead to a lot of different outcomes for us that are beneficial. So number 2 is, where did you come in from today? So while they're signing in, they're doing their registration, or you're just walking up to the house, you can say, hey guys, where did you come in from today? Now, what can they come from this? They can tell you where they live. They can tell you they maybe just moved to the area. They're gonna tell you a little bit of background as far as where they're coming in. But also, again, if you put yourself in the consumer's shoes, they're answering a pretty normal question. Hey, where do you live? Where did you come in from? It's a very easy question to answer, and it has the opportunity to give you a lot more information than you might think. So that's number 2, is where'd you come in from? Number 3 is also a really easy question for them to answer. It's, oh, that's awesome, you're coming in from Mission Viejo. Well, how long have you been there? That's number 3, is how long have you been there? They could be saying, well, we just relocated and we're renting a place until we can find something. That's a lot more information than you would normally have. Or they could say, I've lived in the house for a long, long time and it's time to make a move. Whatever their answers are, you're gathering more and more information, and for them, it's just an easy conversation. Now that's number 3. Number 4 is gonna ask kind of the first real open house question, which is, what is it about this home that has you thinking about making a move? And here you're gathering a little bit of their criteria and motivation as far as what they're looking for in a house. Now, number 5 is really a fun one that I have used for all of my open houses. This is you're sending them on a scavenger hunt. So find something in the property. Now, whether you're doing a $400,000 condo or a $4 million property, there's always something interesting about the home. Maybe it's a walk-in closet, maybe it's a view off the deck, whatever it is, but you want to find that thing that's interesting, point it out, and ask them to take a look at it. You're giving them something specific to look for, and you're setting the expectation that they're gonna have a conversation with them after they're done with the tour. So I'm gonna say something along the lines of, well, very cool. I'm sure you guys want to go take a look at the property. When you get up to the master primary suite, you want to make sure you look into the closet because it's way bigger than you would normally see at a property like this. When you get done with the tour, let me know what you think. Cool. I just set the expectation. I gave them one interesting fact about the house, and I set the expectation we're going to have a conversation when they come back. So that's the 5. So let's recap those really quickly because those are the really easy ones. And then when they come back from the tour, we're gonna go into converting this guest to a lead. So number 1 is introduction and sign in. You're gonna set the expectation to them that they are going to sign in, and you can do that how you feel most comfortable. Number 2 is where did you come in from? You're asking them where they live. Easy question to answer. Number 3, how long have you lived there? Trying to get some more context as far as why they might be moving. Number 4 is what is it about this home that has you thinking about making a move? Another really basic question that they can answer in a million different ways. And then number 5, you're gonna send them on a scavenger hunt, something in the house that's interesting, setting the expectation you're gonna have a conversation when you get back to the property. Setting the expectation that you're gonna have a conversation when they get finished with their tour. All right, now let's move on to the 4. So that was a 5, this is the 4, where we're moving in to close this guest to a lead. All right, so this is number 6, and like I said in the beginning, this is absolutely my favorite question in all of real estate when I'm out touring with a client. And you can use this not just in open houses, but if you're out showing property, if this is your first or second time out with a client, this is gonna give you a lot of context, a lot of information about where they're at. Okay, so number 6 is how does this house look in comparison to all the other houses you've seen? Tone's important there, but it's how does this house look in comparison to all the other houses that you've seen? They can answer in a lot of different ways here. They can say this is the first house we've ever seen. They can say this house sucks. They can say, you know what, we love it, we want to write an offer. There are so many different answers you can get from this, and it gives you way more context than asking most of the normal questions you would ask at an open house. Hey, what'd you think of it? They're gonna give you some surface level answer. This gives you way more information. So that's number 6, is how does this house look in comparison to everything else you've seen? Now, number 7 is the first question you're gonna ask that is a expectation of maybe doing business. Now, here's the important thing, is I've already asked 5 or 6 questions and I have a lot of context on this person. So we should be building rapport. I didn't really mention this in the video yet, but when you're asking these questions and they're telling you where they live, why are they moving, yard for the dog, whatever it is, you should be building the expectation that you're building rapport with this person. So when you ask them this question, you're gonna have a little bit softer feeling than if you're berating them right when they walk into the open house. So after you've just asked them, how does this house compare to all the other houses that you've seen? The next question you're gonna ask them is, that's awesome. Who's your real estate agent? Or, hey, by the way, who is your real estate agent? Now, the number 1 question most agents ask at an open house, or they just ignore it completely, is do you have an agent? And the number 1 thing that consumers lie about is, yeah, I have an agent. Please don't bother me. It's the same thing when we walk into Nordstrom and we walk in and the salesperson greets us and they say, hey, how are you? How can I help you? And you say, no, I'm just looking. And then 2 minutes later, you're asking yourself, does anybody even work here? I can't even get help. So this is the same thing. You're gonna phrase a question that's 1, very simple to answer, and 2, is gonna really tell you a lot about where the client is at. So you're gonna ask them, who is your real estate agent? And they're gonna say the name, or they're gonna say anything else, which is the answer no. They do not have a real estate agent, which is the question we want to ask. We're gonna ask it in a different way. So by the way, who is your real estate agent? They're gonna say, well, you know what, I don't have one. Or, I've talked to a couple, but I'm not really committed to anybody. That's really the answer we're looking for. I'm not asking, do you have one, where they can simply say yes. I'm going to ask for their name first. And most people's first gut reaction is to be honest and they're likely just gonna say, you know what, I either don't remember their name or they don't have one. And either one of those is gonna give you an opportunity to move forward with that lead. So that's number 7. Number 8 is gonna be, well, what is your experience working with a professional real estate agent? Now, the reality is if they just told you they had an agent and you asked this question, the context here is gonna be, you're giving them the opportunity to say that they're not really happy with the real estate agent. Maybe they're just opening doors and not doing a whole lot, but you're also implementing a seed of doubt that, wait a second, is my real estate agent professional? Or if they don't have a real estate agent, they're gonna say, I've never really thought of that. I think of real estate agents as they open the door and make too much money, like most consumers do. So this is gonna give them the opportunity to share with you what their experience is working with real estate agents. Maybe they're gonna say, I've been working with a Redfin agent and it's, they just opened the door for me. And you're gonna get more context. So that's that one. Now the next question is gonna be, would it be a bad idea to go through what working with a professional like myself really looks like? And this is your ask for them. Are you interested at all in learning about how I can help you? Now, our team leverages our strategy session big time here. This is where we go through and we share with the client what our clients are doing to be successful in the marketplace, how we protect our clients through the entire transaction, and how we get them the best deal possible. So whatever it is you and your team do to leverage and win clients, this is what you're gonna leverage here, but it's a very easy and logical way to open up that hard conversation after you've built rapport, and it makes sense in the whole grand scheme of things when the lead came into the open house to see the property. If we go back to the beginning of this video, we're talking about putting yourself in the consumer's shoes. They wanted to come in to see the property. They didn't come in to interview you as the agent. But at the end of the day, when you're in these opportunities, you are on an interview, whether you know it or not. So when you go in and you ask the final 4 questions, you say, how does this house look in comparison to anything else you've seen? That is your number 6. Number 7 is gonna be, that's awesome, who is your real estate agent? Or would you mind me asking, who is your real estate agent? And then from there, you're gonna ask, what is your experience working with a professional real estate agent? And would it be a bad idea if I shared with you, or would it be a bad idea to learn about what our clients are doing to be successful in this marketplace? Would it be a bad idea to learn about what working with professional real estate agents such as myself would look like? However you want to word those questions at the end, that is going to be your closing really question, the hook to win that client, win that lead as a client. This is an open house guest that we're hoping to move down the pipeline. Now, if you haven't already seen another video on how we follow up with our open house guests, that is crucial. I would absolutely recommend checking that out. If you like videos like this, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And if you have other open house scripts that you love, make sure to drop them down in the comments. We'll see you in the next video.